Hey, so today I want to talk quickly about how to build mental resilience. And I think this is something that not only we need to, I guess, begin taking more seriously in our lives, but I think it's something that, when you actually do begin to make progress toward, you start to see that going through the difficulty of developing this kind of mindset is what's going to allow you to handle the difficulties of life. And when you handle these challenges, there's something about it that allows you to come through better, stronger than you ever were before. And so I think there's a lot of merit and validity to this concept that doesn't give, or rather, that doesn't get the attention that it deserves. So I want to talk to you today about 3 tips that I've employed in my own life to really build that sense of mental resilience, that sense of emotional strength so that you can get through a difficult time. Beginning with number 1, I refer to this as calculated hardships. And I want to dive into it by sharing a quick story with you. So in 2020, I read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins for the first time. I've read that book a few times since then, but it was the first time that really, I guess, resonated with me the most. At the time, I was really diving into my self improvement journey. I was developing all of these habits and routines and really solidifying them into my daily habit. And there was a quote in the book, and I'm paraphrasing this. He said it many times in different interviews, but I first heard it in the book. And he says that every day you should do something that sucks. And that really spoke to me. I really enjoyed that because doing something that sucks every day, it has this effect on your mind where he puts it as it calluses your mind. And I believe this wholeheartedly to be true. It strengthens not only your ability to tolerate pain and discomfort, but it allows you to push through it. So not only are you able to sit with it and be okay with it, but you're able to push through. And when you do that, then you arrive at the other side. And this is exactly what I was talking about, how when you're able to push through the pain and discomfort, then you become better as a result. It's like you become sharpened and more honed at a spiritual and psychological level, and even on a physical level. If the comfort and pain that you're pushing through is in the gym, for example, where you're lifting weights or you're pushing yourself on the treadmill or you're training martial arts, whatever the case may be. And there are a few ways you can implement this. I prefer to take cold showers every day. And so every single morning when I come home after my workout from the gym, I'll hop in a cold shower. It sucks every single time. I don't like it. It's pins and needles. It's it's achy. It's horrible. But when I get out, when I push through that discomfort, I feel this sense of confidence, clarity, focus, and that right there carries me through the day. It's able to really hone my thinking and realize that anything I face afterward during my day is nothing compared to what I just went through in that freezing, icy receptacle. And I think that right there is one of the benefits of doing something that sucks every day, is it makes everything else during the rest of the day seem inconsequential in comparison. And for you, it doesn't have to be a cold shower. I don't know, maybe you might want to start with something a little less emotionally chaotic, so to speak. I'm having trouble with my words right now, but maybe for you, it's going for a 10-minute walk every single day around your block. Maybe it's doing 100 push ups when you wake up every morning. Maybe it's, I don't know, fill in the blank, taking the stairs instead of the escalator at your apartment or the elevator, right? You can get creative with this. It doesn't have to just be, these things that I'm listing off. Just find something where you're adding a little inconvenience in your life every day, and I think it'll go a long way in strengthening your resolve toward other areas as well. So that's the first one. Calculated hardships. Do something that sucks every single day. The next one is that's going to help you build that strong mindset, that resilient mind, is to find an accountability partner. I've had numerous accountability partners over the years, and it's been one of the most instrumental things that has helped me to stick toward my goals when I feel like tapping out and quitting. Is the fact that I have that person that I have to report to at the end of the week saying, hey, did you hold to your word? Did you stick to the actions that you said that you were going to do? And this right here, I think not enough people realize how potent it is in their daily lives because we're so focused on just our own lives and we don't really share what we're doing with other people. And if we do, maybe it's a social media post and then in a week everybody's forgotten about it. You need to have somebody in your life within your inner circle that you know and respect, who you're not going to want to let down, who you would look like and feel like a complete idiot if you had to report to this person and be like, hey, I didn't do it. There's no excuse. I was just lazy, or I just, whatever the case may be, I didn't feel like it. That right there is going to push you to take action. And and when you're pushed to do it, when you have to do it because you don't want to let that other person down, you're going to obviously have to push through that discomfort. And so that right there is another element that's going to force you to face the things that you don't want to face, right? And so make sure that this accountability partner, the person that you select, shares similar goals and values. It doesn't need to be the exact same, but they need to be purpose driven. They need to be focused on goals that they have of their own. They need to have, they need to want more than what it is that they currently have in life. They need to have like some same level of ambition as you. You can't select somebody who all they want to do is eat chips and pizza on the weekend and then watch Netflix. I mean, like that doesn't compute. They're not going to take this relationship seriously. So when you're selecting an accountability partner, make sure that you're picking someone who is on the same wavelength as you, and that right there is going to encourage you and motivate you and inspire you to live up to the expectation that you've set for yourself and that you want them to hold you accountable toward. And vice versa, you're gonna play that same role to them as well. So important. So that's number 2 on how to build a resilient mindset. Number 3 is bet on yourself. I wanna share with you a quick story. In 2023, I took the biggest leap of my entire life. At the time, I had just started training martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was very, very excited about it. It was consuming everything that I did. I absolutely fell in love with the sport, and I decided that I wanted to do something crazy. And so I sold all of my possessions, with the exception of a few, personal items that you can't replace, so I kept those. But I sold everything. I relinquished my apartment. I gave up my comfy salary and my cozy job, and I flew halfway around the world to train at a place called Evolve MMA in Singapore, in Southeast Asia, which is the top martial arts academy in all of Asia and one of the best martial arts academies in the world. And actually, this shirt right here, Evolve MMA, I actually got this shirt from training there. And the goal was to train there for 6 months. And I ended up traveling all throughout Asia, training in Thailand and the Maldives and where else? Malaysia, everywhere. And it was the biggest leap that I had ever taken in my life. I had never done anything like that in my entire life. The only other place that I had traveled was like down in the States. I'm from Canada. And so I had never done anything like this. It was huge, and I was completely betting on myself and my ability to make things happen in my life. And things didn't go according to plan. In fact, things fell apart pretty quickly, and I ended up completely losing everything, to put it lightly. Things did not go as planned. And so I ended up returning to Canada a short while later, and I was relegated to my brother's spare bedroom, sleeping on an inflatable air mattress for the next year. But I share that story with you because I bet on myself. And when I returned to Canada from that failure, that was when I actually started my copywriting business, which I am doing today. I actually make my living, serving my copywriting clients. I have clients that I work with from around the world, and I write their emails, their website copy, their blog posts and articles. I would have never started my business had it not been for that failure, had it not been for me betting on myself and putting myself out there in the world. And you want to know what? It sucked. It was horrible. It was not fun going through that process, but digging out of the hole that I dug myself into was what helped me to build that mental strength. So when you bet on yourself, you want to know something, you might fail, but you might not. You might achieve it, but at the same time, you might fail. But if you do, you are going to learn so much from that failure. It is going to chip away at the weaknesses that have been holding you back, that you didn't even know were holding you back. When I started my copywriting business, there were things that I didn't even know that were just really putting me in a position where I was limited in so many ways. But it was only when I was forced to face those limitations through the drudgery of finding clients, putting myself out there, building my copywriting website, learning the skills on how to write effective copy and all of these other things. It was only through facing that, because I had no other choice but to, because I had to eat, I had to keep a roof over my head. it was going through that process that allowed me to see that I was a lot stronger than I thought I was. And so when you bet on yourself, and mind you, it doesn't have to be a grandiose thing that I did, like selling everything and traveling across the world. I'm just sharing that story as an example, that the point to it all is that you need to be able to bet on yourself and accept the consequences. And when you accept those consequences and you work through them and you use them to your advantage, you start to see that you're a lot more capable and a lot more competent than you ever thought possible. And that right there is the gold. That's what you're looking to find. But you can only discover that about yourself when you're in that position. So maybe for you, betting on yourself isn't moving across the world. Maybe for you, betting on yourself is changing a job, changing a career. Maybe it's leaving a relationship that you're really comfortable in, but it's not quite serving you. It could be a multitude of things. You know what it is. You know what it is. And so that right there is what the key takeaway that I want you to understand when it comes to building that mindset is you have to be able to bet on yourself, because you don't know what you're really capable of until you have no other choice but to uncover that quality and that trait within yourself, if that makes any sense. I'm rambling. Those are the 3 tips for you to build a resilient mindset. To recap, number 1, calculated hardships. Do something that sucks every day. Number 2, find an accountability partner, someone who's going to hold you to your goals. And then last but not least, number 3, bet on yourself. Do something that forces you to dig a little deeper within your skills, within your knowledge base, within your own reserve of motivation and drive. And I guarantee you will be a much stronger person as a result. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all next time. Stay motivated and disciplined. Peace.